Good morning, everybody. My name is Jay Helms, and I'm the founder of the W2 Capitalist. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 reasons why you should build relationships with apartment syndicators. All right, stay tuned. Here we go. I have been talking this entire time on mute. I just realized that. Oh my gosh. So we're live. I'm going to start over and I'll edit out what just happened in the replay. But yeah, so today, talking about being thrown for a loop. I lost audio. No, you didn't. Darren, hey, Jerry Lee, I apologize. We're going to start this over. There's no way to get his attention right now. No, I was in it. I was in the groove, I think. Anyway, can you guys, if you guys can give me a thumbs up or, I can't see you. Let me know if you can hear me now, if you're still on. I'm going to cut out all of that in the replay. And, yeah, my mute button was on. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. We're going to start over. But today I want to talk to you. I'm going to take another sip of coffee. 3 reasons why you should build relationships with apartment syndicators. That's the topic for today. If you're just joining us, I did this whole first 5 minutes on mute. Now I got you. All right, cool. Cool. Yeah, my mute button was on. I'm learning. 1% improvement every day. Probably should start with the mute button. But first off, as you can tell, I'm a little thrown for that. All right, so let's get focused. All right, so 3 reasons why you should build relationships with apartment syndicators. First off, what is an apartment syndicator? Syndicators are guys like me that hunt down types of opportunities with apartment complexes. Darren's in here, so I'm going to mention mobile home parks because he's my mobile home park expert. But syndicators are guys like us that hunt these deals down, and we don't have all the capital that we need personally to invest and close these deals. So we get these investment opportunities, we put them together, and we present them to you as a potential passive investor. Now, a disclaimer here, I am not a lawyer, nor am I a financial advisor, so anything that I say here is considered for entertainment purposes only. I think that's what my lawyer wanted me to say. Also, all right, here we go. So 3 reasons. Again, I apologize for earlier if you're watching this live. If not, if you're catching this on the replay, I basically did the first 5 minutes on mute, which I'm going to cut out. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to stop mentioning that. Number one reason why you need to build a relationship with a syndicator is trust. Now, this might be the most obvious, but when you are presented an apartment complex deal, we're gonna be over today. Trailer parks are great once you get past the smell. That's what Darren says. But trust, again, is probably the most obvious one. But when you are presented with an apartment complex deal that you want to potentially passively invest in, you want to trust the person who is presenting it to you. I mean, if you like the looks of the deal and it checks the boxes for all of your criteria, right? Your investing criteria, that means you're about to wire 50,000, 100,000, or possibly 200,000 to a bank account set up by that syndicator. Now, it should be set up in the LLC that the property is going to hold the property or an entity. I shouldn't say an LLC. Most of them are going to be LLCs. But this doesn't mean that apartment complex investment isn't free of risk, right? It's an investment. So it comes with risk. But at least you trust the syndicator who is putting together, right? So that's number one reason why you want to build relationships with apartment syndicators. Number two, as you're building that relationship and starting to trust that syndicator, undoubtedly he or she is going to present you with opportunities, and you get to understand just how that syndicator underwrites deals. You get used to looking at the deal packages that come your way. You get more familiar with that underwriter, right? Is he or she conservative? Is he or she aggressive? How in tune are they with the market? You just get to know them on a different level, right? So you get to used to the way that syndicator underwrites deals. So when the right one comes along, you're ready to jump on it. And I mentioned that because the handful of deals that I looked at in the past, probably 3 to 6 months ago, not anything real recent, they oversubscribed, meaning more money was raised than needed. And folks like me who were slow to act were turned away. And those situations became a first come, first served basis. So you want to get used to how and what the syndicator underwrites deals, so that when one comes across your inbox and you are quick to jump on it, or you have the ability to quickly jump on it. It's just like an exercise, right? You're training yourself to see these deals, and then you're finally going to see one that checks all the boxes and moves away, right? Or not moves away, but you jump on and you go with it. I guess I should say. Number 3, and this is the last point. In most cases, and this is why you want to build relationships with apartment syndicators, in most cases, the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, requires it. Now, back to I'm not an attorney, financial advisor disclaimer, but what I mean by this is the SEC breaks down investors into really 2 different categories, sophisticated and accredited, right? And the differences of how syndicators can approach these 2 types of investors are broken down into Rule 506 of Regulation D, Part B and Part C. Now, as my son would say when I start to talk technical with him, blabbity blah blah blue blah, right? So let me break this down. So Part B is where syndicators can offer their apartment complexes to sophisticated and accredited investors, but solicitation is not allowed. So when you hear friends and family in your real estate talks, chances are the person who's talking about, I did this deal with friends and family, chances are they're talking about a Part B syndication, right? So it's be Rule 506 Part B. But then, because the SEC is very good about keeping this rule kind of gray, we have to define what is friends, or what are friends, and what are family, or what is a family. Anyway, Alabama education coming out. Okay, so obviously family is easier to define, but what about friends, right? Yesterday I told you how I met my wife, which is a pretty unique story, and how long we've been together, but that hardly justifies us being a relationship, or in any sort of relationship, right? Or considered friends. Just because you watch me on YouTube, you've heard the podcast, you've been in the Facebook group, doesn't justify that we have a relationship. Now, I love it when people come up to me and talk to me on the phone, or send me an email and say, man, I feel like I know you. That's great. I love that. I don't know you. Sorry. Right. So we've got to know each other. We've got to be able to trust one another. And a lot of times, if the syndicator is doing it right, he's not going to choose to do business with everybody. He's going to have conversations with numerous people, and he's going to find out that he's going to do business with people that he likes, right? Friends. So the definition of friends, back to that. This is where you need to consult your attorney to interpret this rule for you. And that's, again, that's Rule 506, Regulation D, Part B, for you tech weenies out there. Yes, I just did call you tech weenies. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it if I wasn't one already. I've probably got a hat around here that's got a little propeller on top of it. I am a nerd. That's okay. But yeah, you have to consult with your attorney to interpret that rule for you. Every attorney has a little bit different, right? Because it is gray. It's a gray area. It's open for interpretation. The reason I say consult your attorney is because if something were to happen and you end up in court for whatever reason, that attorney is going to be representing you, and you guys need to be on the same page, right? However, Susan Lassiter-Lyons in her book, defines a friend, and she even goes in to say that she talked to her attorney, and her attorney says, look, if you talk to somebody or 3 contacts, and she goes into what a contact is, within 45 days, then her attorney feels like that is a friendly relationship. Meaning that none of those 3 conversations are soliciting for this apartment complex that maybe she's working on, right? I also bring this up because if you are sophisticated, this whole third thing here about part B or part C is because I'm about to sneeze. It went away. I'll see if I can wrap this up without sneezing. Anyway, also bring this up because if you are a sophisticated investor, and I'm going to get into more of that tomorrow, what is a sophisticated versus accredited investor. But if you are a sophisticated investor and someone you don't know or possibly don't know that well is offering you a syndication for an apartment complex, a mobile home park, whatnot, chances are, I'm going to say chances, they are violating Part B of that Rule 506 and don't have your best interest at heart. Okay, so build relationships with those folks. So let me recap. Number 1, trust. You want to be able to trust the person you're about to wire a lot of money to. Number 2, you get used to seeing how they underwrite deals so that when the right one comes along, you don't miss out, right? And then number 3, probably the second most important, right? I would go with trust being first one. Second, probably is most important, is the SEC requires it, right? So, and then number 3 is you get used to the deal flow and how they underwrite deals. So those are the 3 reasons that I wanted to bring to you today. The second thing that I want to talk about, and I do this every day, or I've been doing this probably for about the last week, is my big win for yesterday, right? And I want to say that the reason I do this is to encourage you to also think about I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze again. What your big win is for you, because you need to celebrate those. You need to talk about, hey, this is what I accomplished yesterday. Hang on one second. I got to do something here. Live tubing, folks. That's it. But yeah, you've got to lost my train of thought. How is oversubscription bad? Does it dilute distributions? So Darren asked a question. How is oversubscription bad? Does it dilute distributions? I don't know that it's bad. I don't like the way the syndicator who put that deal together handled that situation particularly. Because in my opinion, you never want to turn away money. But if you oversubscribe, say you've got a rate, I'm going to use small numbers that I can do in my mind, right? Say you have to raise $100,000. Let's say you raise $1 million. If you raise $1.2 million, then that means your numbers and the way you calculated the deal, the return on your deal is skewed heavily, right? Most people, it would affect every investor who's part of that deal. So what should happen, or what I would do in that situation, is ask people who have subscribed to it, or at least firm committed, to take a smaller portion, right, to get you back to that 1 million number. And the reason I would do that is because that keeps your numbers in line as far as and I mentioned this earlier, I didn't go into detail. I'll do that a little bit more later this week, but the investing criteria, right? What kind of returns is it going to push out? What kind of distributions are you going to be able to get from it? So yes, I don't think oversubscription is bad. I think there's ways to handle it versus telling people, no, you can't be part of the deal. But it does dilute distributions, right, in any scenario. So, but my big win from yesterday, so I've started calling down this list of apartment complexes. If you don't know, I am looking for apartment complexes, 15 to 200 units from Mobile, Alabama to Jacksonville, Florida, going south as far as Gainesville, going north as far as the Georgia line. And I started calling yesterday. I thought, hey, I'm going to start in my own backyard and start in Pensacola. And first guy, this is the first time I've batch skipped anything, skip traced anything, and called the first number. It was disconnected. Called the second number I had for this guy, and turns out he is a pretty wealthy investor himself. He did not want to talk about the property that I wanted to talk about, but he introduced me to another one. And so it's amazing to kind of see this stuff come together. I hear about people or not batch skipping, but skip tracing. Batch skip is the product that I used, and I'm trying to work on. I wanted to go through using it first before they have an affiliate program, and I want to make sure it's something that I would feel comfortable recommending to you guys. But I'm hoping that I can get with them to provide y'all with a coupon code and whatnot. So that is on my to-do list. Don't know if I'm going to get to it today, but it is out there. I want to use it the system a few more times before I come in and kind of talk about it, or recommend it for you guys, which I recommend all of our affiliates, especially I'm going to go with Deal Check here. Deal Check, as if you're into analyzing properties, this piece of software is for you. If you use the coupon code W2CAP, it's going to give you 25% off. A handful of you have already taken advantage of this since we've been doing the live, which is incredible. There is a link in the description below, but check it out. It's free to try, and you have limited functionality, and then you only pay for the parts that you want to open up. So it's possible you could use it for free for your entire life, for your entire investment career. So, but my big win yesterday was that I started calling down this list. First number was disconnected. Second number ended up connecting with the owner. It was his cell phone, and he answered, which is pretty incredible because I don't answer, unless you're programmed in my phone as a contact. But he answered, and we had probably a 15, 20-minute conversation, and if I can get things aligned, we're going to go look at one of his properties today. So, and it's not a property for us to, it is a property for us to buy, but it's an office space for my wife and some of the things that she's got going on. So it's very possible that we might be in the commercial retail space here pretty soon. So pretty exciting stuff. So, and my big focus today is, or my one thing for today, I have a podcast interview coming up with Matt. Matt is a pretty cool guy. I'm just going to leave that teaser out there, but it's going to be it's amazing to hear kind of his story, and I'm going to save all that for the podcast, but he's got an amazing story. That's my one thing today. I want it to be in a really incredible podcast. Darren Hay asked, have you contacted all the folks who filled out your form? The form he's talking about is, and I'll put a link below in the description. The form he's talking about is I sent out a form to I've got a small mailer list, small email list. Send it out and say, hey, look, I'm going to start, now that I'm full-time real estate investing, I'm going to start hunting down these apartment syndications. And if you're interested in investing with me, or at least having the conversation to get to know me better, fill out this form and we'll get on and chat. And to answer your question, Darren, yes, I have reached out initially to all 40-something people that filled that out, and my calendar is booked through June already. So, yeah, it's been humbling, but also really, really good conversations have been going on. Thank you for asking about that. But that's it for today, guys. I do want to wrap you up with this and leave you with this is, have you thought about what you want from an apartment syndicator? Thinking about not only just how they present deals, but how they communicate with you and how they present deals communicated with you and how available they are to you when needed. So that, just be thinking about that as you continue on your journey of passively investing and building wealth for you and your family. How do you want to, who and how do you want to syndicate with? All right. That's it. You guys make it a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Central.